there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. And as you can see in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new wave of vintage collection figures. These arrived today from In Demand Toys. They managed to get some import stock. The wave consists of the Tuscan Warrior from the Book of Boba Fett, Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi, Han Solo from Return of the Jedi, Weequay from Return of the Jedi, and Captain Howzer from the Bad Batch. We'll talk about all of these in the video. As I said, I managed to get this from In Demand Toys on import stock. I do have another set ordered through Star Action Figures. I think you could order the whole wave. I don't think you can order all of them individually, maybe just the Tuscan Warrior, because this was another one of those weird waves where they released some of them and not on pre-order, and it was an absolute nightmare, to be honest. But if you're in the States and you want to order this wave, then Entertainment Earth also has the whole wave as a case. I will leave a link in the description below, and if you order through that link, that is a great way of supporting the channel. Right, I'm just going to clear the desk away and we're going to have a quick look at each one, just talk about each one individually, and then of course I will be doing full reviews of all of these figures, except Captain Howzer, I think, and as I said, we'll come on to that in a little bit. But yeah, I will be doing reviews of all of them, and my Patreon supporters and channel members will be getting those videos early over the next couple of days. So I should have said earlier that I do want you to leave your thoughts in the comment section below about this wave, and also leave a comment on which one you would like to see reviewed first on the channel. But we're just going to take a look at them in number order. First of all, just to take a quick overview look. So this is the Tuscan Warrior, the female Tuscan Warrior from the Book of Boba Fett. This was one of my most wanted figures from the show. She looks awesome on the card back there, and the figure looks pretty good too. A little bit of reuse on this figure, which is the same for the wave in general. This uses parts of the original Rey Force Awakens figure, but I think it's smart reuse. They've done pretty well with this one, and she looks really, really good. She is VC 279 in the line. You can see the import sticker there, and there's all the figures from this wave, and then the three there are from the previous wave. So that's an awesome card back. We're getting quite a few Book of Boba Fett ones now after that campaign, the Mando Mania campaign. And she looks great, man. She's going to look great with all the other Tuscans, and we're getting that Tuscan 4 pack. Can't wait for that. So that is the Tuscan Warrior. Next up we have Darth Vader, who is VC 280. And this card back, man, wow. What a card back. What an image there. That is already one of my favourite card backs in terms of the image anyway, and the figure is obviously great as well because it does use the sculpt from the Darth Vader that we got from the Obi-Wan show, the Dark Times Darth Vader. And I think the only real difference here is that you get a removable helmet with the head sculpt underneath, and also the interchangeable hand as well, from where obviously he has his hand chopped off. You get the lightsaber hilt, and yeah, I really can't wait to review this one personally. I know a lot of people are a little bit upset that they didn't use the Sebastian Shaw head sculpt on this one, and they've gone for more of a Hayden Christensen look, and that's obviously because we are getting that Darth Vader and Obi-Wan 2-pack, damaged Darth Vader or whatever. So, you know, he's obviously going to come with the split down his front of his mask, and you'll be able to see that head sculpt ever so slightly underneath. That's what I think it's going to be like anyway. But getting back to this one, you know, it's a brilliant Vader, the amazing sculpt, and you're going to get him into some pretty cool dioramas with the hand and everything. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, just a bit of a shame about the head sculpt, but you know, I'll come on to that more in the actual review when we take a closer look at the actual figure. But in terms of the card back, man, this one is going to go so well with all the other Return of the Jedis. We've got some great Vader cards, and this one, yeah, that scene. What a scene from Return of the Jedi. Fantastic. And of course, all of these Return of the Jedi ones that are coming out this year have the 40th logo on there in the corner. So that's Vader. Next up, we have Han Solo. And once again, a really great card back on this one. I do realise that a lot of people aren't overly happy with the figure in terms of the reuse. I think a lot of people were hoping when this figure was pipelined that it was going to be an all-new figure, and it is a bit of a shame that they've reused some parts. But again, I will get into that on a full review. VC 281. But just very quickly, when I was at Celebration and I saw him in the cabinet in various poses outside the bunker with his arms out and things like that, I thought it looked really, really good compared to the images that we got originally, the sort of press images. I didn't like him at all in those images. I thought the head sculpt was off. It looked more like Corey Feldman. This one doesn't actually look too bad, and as I say, in the cabinets it looked pretty good, but I think he just looks a little bit, I don't know, the scaling of him, he just looks a little bit dumpy. But as I say, we will get more into that in the full review. VC281, as I mentioned, great card back though. That's inside the bunker. I believe that's from a deleted scene. I don't think we ever actually saw that shot in the movie. Once again, Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary in the corner. And yet another Jedi card. We've got so many of these, man, in the vintage collection. If you have your figures on the wall like I do, then your Jedi wall is getting quite full, I'm sure. Next up is Weequay. So this is the first reissue of the wave. Unfortunately, there is 2 reissues in this wave, and this is Weequay, but this one to me was one that was needed. Really expensive on the secondary market, and obviously anyone that's got a skiff needs this guy for their skiff. Many of you have probably already got him. I do indeed as well, but it's always good to have another one. My son needs him, for example. And when I do the review of this one, I will compare the 2, because I do believe there's some photo reel going on that head, even though it's an alien. I think it'll have ever so slightly different paint apps and things like that, so be worth checking out the differences. And the classic Weequay card, of course, that is the card that they used for the original 96 back in the Kenner days. Once again, you've got the 40th logo there, and he retains his number from the original lineup, VC107. But yeah, I think this is like a pretty good reissue, considering that we do have the skiff and the barge and pretty much all of the figures from that skiff with the Velkin Tazeri and everything coming up. I think this was a pretty smart reissue, but of course it may affect the value of the original version. And then finally, this is perhaps the biggest waste of a slot ever in the history of the vintage collection. I don't know, there's probably been some in the past that have been equally as bad, but for me, just renaming him Clone Captain Howzer. He used to be called Clone Captain Ballast, I do believe. You could only get him in the Bad Batch 4-pack, which is readily available. You can still get it on Amazon, I do believe. So this figure to me is going to be a bit of a peg warmer. I'm not too sure how many people are going to want this one. Obviously, if you're a variant collector, then you're going to want it just purely for the corrected name. But it is a nice card back. It's the VC45 body and oversized helmet. I think this was my favourite of that 4-pack though. And he is VC210, just retains the number, but you know, exactly the same card back, except for the name change there. So not really too much to say about this one. I'm not going to bother reviewing it. He's going to stay in his package just like that. And yeah, I'm not going to be buying any extras of this one whatsoever. All the other figures, when you buy the wave, you get 2 Vaders, 2 Han Solos, 2 Tusken Raiders, 1 Weequay, and 1 of these. So that's pretty good if you're buying the case. So there you go there, guys. That was just a quick overview of the latest wave of vintage collection figures. I can't wait to review these 3 over the next couple of days. As I mentioned, if you're a Patreon supporter or channel member, then you will get some of those videos early as the days go by. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and don't forget to leave your comments down below. I want to know your thoughts, and also let me know which one you'd like to see on the channel first. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and channel members, and we shall see you on the next one.